Kamala Harris, a journey of breaking barriers and fighting for justice. Kamala Harris, the first female vice president of the United States, has a remarkable story. Born in Oakland, California, in 1964, Harris grew up in a family deeply involved in the civil rights movement. Her mother, Kamala Palin, an Indian-born breast cancer researcher, and her father, Donald Harris, a Jamaican-born economics professor, instilled in her a strong sense of justice and equality. Harris excelled in school, graduating from Howard University, a historically black college, with a degree in political science and economics. She went on to earn a law degree from the University of California, Hastings College of the Law, and began her career as a deputy district attorney in San Francisco. Harris quickly rose through the ranks of the legal system, serving as the district attorney of San Francisco from 2004 to 2011 and as the Attorney General of California from 2011 to 2017. During her time as Attorney General, she was known for her progressive stance on issues like criminal justice reform and environmental protection. In 2017, Harris was elected to the United States Senate, becoming the first African American and first South Asian American woman to represent California in the Senate. She served on the Senate Judiciary Committee, where she was a vocal critic of President Donald Trump's policies. In 2020, Harris joined Joe Biden's presidential campaign as his running mate. Their ticket won the election, making Harris the first female, first African American, and first Asian American vice president of the United States. As vice president, Harris has been a key figure in the Biden administration's efforts to address issues such as the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change, and racial justice. She has also been a vocal advocate for women's rights and voting rights. Early challenges as a prosecutor. Harris' first career was as a deputy district attorney in San Francisco. This was her first job after graduating from law school. However, she faced several challenges. Balancing justice and fairness. As a prosecutor, Harris had to navigate the complex task of upholding the law while ensuring fairness for both victims and defendants. This often involved making difficult decisions about plea bargains and sentencing. Dealing with high crime rates. San Francisco, like many major cities, faced high crime rates during Harris' time in the district attorney's office. This meant she dealt with a heavy caseload and had to prioritize cases based on their severity. Navigating a system with systemic racism. The criminal justice system in the United States has a history of systemic racism, and Harris was not immune to this. She faced criticism for her handling of certain cases, particularly those involving police misconduct and racial disparities in the justice system. Balancing personal beliefs with professional duties. Harris was known for her progressive views on criminal justice reform. As a prosecutor, she had to balance these views with her professional duty to uphold the law, which sometimes led to conflict. Gender and racial barriers. As a black woman in a predominantly white male profession, Harris faced gender and racial barriers. She had to work harder to prove herself and gain respect from her colleagues. These challenges shaped Harris' approach to law enforcement and contributed to her later advocacy for criminal justice reform. She has spoken about the difficult decisions she had to make as a prosecutor and how her experience informed her views on the need for a fairer and more just criminal justice system. Kamala Harris platform for the 2024 presidential election. Kamala Harris platform for the 2024 presidential election centers around building on the accomplishments of the Biden administration while advocating for a more progressive economic agenda. Here's a breakdown of her key policy stances. Domestic issues. Abortion rights. Harris strongly supports national abortion protections and has pledged to codify Roe v. Wade into law. Cannabis legalization. Harris supports federal cannabis legalization and has advocated for expungement of criminal records related to marijuana use. Civil rights. Harris is committed to protecting civil rights and has spoken out against racial injustice and discrimination. Climate change. Harris supports legislation to address climate change and has pledged to invest in renewable energy and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Economy. Harris advocates for a populist economic agenda, including a ban on price gouging, capping prescription drug costs, and expanding the child tax credit. She also supports strengthening labor unions and increasing the minimum wage. Gun safety. Harris supports universal background checks, red flag laws, and an assault weapons ban. Healthcare. Harris supports strengthening the Affordable Care Act and expanding access to affordable healthcare. Housing. Harris supports federal funding for affordable housing and has proposed a tax credit for first-time homebuyers. Immigration. Harris supports increasing the number of Border Patrol agents and reforming the immigration system. She also advocates for a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants and protecting the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals DACA program. LGBTQ+ rights. Harris is a strong supporter of LGBTQ+ rights and has advocated for equal rights and protections for all. Voting rights. Harris supports strengthening voting rights and has advocated for legislation to protect access to the ballot box. Foreign policy. Ukraine. Harris supports continued military aid to Ukraine in its war against Russia. Israel. Harris supports continued military aid to Israel and has advocated for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. China. Harris has expressed concerns about China's growing influence and its human rights record. India. Harris has spoken about her strong ties to India and her commitment to strengthening the U.S.-India relationship. Overall, Harris' platform reflects a continuation of the Biden administration's policies, with a focus on progressive economic policies and a strong commitment to social justice and equality. Iconic images of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris' rise to prominence has been captured in a number of iconic photographs, each telling a story of her journey and the impact she's made. Here are a few of the most notable. Kamala Harris taking the oath of office, January 20, 2021. This photo shows Harris being sworn in as vice president, with her husband Doug Emhoff by her side. She's holding two Bibles, one belonging to Thurgood Marshall, the first black Supreme Court justice, and the other to Regina Shelton, a family friend whose house Harris and her sister visited after school. This image captures the historical significance of Harris becoming the first female, first Black American, and first Asian American vice president. It also symbolizes the legacy she carries on her shoulders, acknowledging the contributions of those who came before her. Kamala Harris, toe mark, at the inauguration February 4, 2021. This photo shows a close-up of the mark left by Harris' heeled shoe on the platform during the mock swearing-in ceremony for new senators. This image became a powerful symbol of Harris' presence as the first female vice president. It sparked conversations about women's fashion and the challenges women face in a male-dominated world. Kamala Harris and Ruby Bridges shadow image, October 2020. This digital art piece depicts Harris walking confidently, casting the shadow of young Ruby Bridges, the first black child to integrate an all-white school in New Orleans. This image went viral after Harris was elected vice president, symbolizing the legacy of black women who paved the way for her success. It highlights the interconnectedness of progress and the importance of recognizing those who came before. Kamala Harris on the Vogue cover, January 2021. This photo shows Harris wearing a tailored blazer and Converse sneakers, a casual look that contrasted with traditional presidential portraits. This cover sparked controversy, with some criticizing the choice of attire as too casual for a vice president. However, it also represented Harris' desire to be relatable and connect with a broader audience. The photo also highlighted her personal style and her commitment to inclusivity. Kamala Harris with her staff, September 22, 2021. This black and white photo captures Harris in a moment of quiet reflection with her staff. This image showcases Harris' leadership style and her close relationship with her team. It highlights the importance of collaboration and the power of collective action. These are just a few of the iconic photos that capture Kamala Harris' journey and impact. Each image tells a story, reflecting her accomplishments, the challenges she has faced, and the hope she represents for a more inclusive and just future. Kamala Harris interacting with world leaders. Here are some memorable and significant photos of Kamala Harris interacting with other world leaders. Kamala Harris meeting with Baltic leaders, February 18, 2022. This photo captures Harris meeting with the leaders of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania during the Munich Security Conference, shortly after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It signifies her commitment to supporting NATO allies and her role in navigating the complex geopolitical landscape. Kamala Harris meeting with South Korean President Moon Jae-in May 21, 2021. This photo shows Harris meeting with South Korean President Moon Jae-in at the White House, without the participation of President Biden. It highlights Harris' growing role in foreign policy and her ability to conduct high-level diplomatic engagements independently. Kamala Harris meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, September 2023. While the search results don't include a specific photo of this meeting, it is a significant event given the complex relationship between the U.S. and Israel. This meeting, and any photos taken, would likely be analyzed for signs of Harris' stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and her approach to U.S.-Israel relations. These photos, along with others from Harris' interactions with world leaders, offer glimpses into her diplomatic style, her approach to international relations, and her role in shaping U.S. foreign policy. To find more photos of Harris interacting with world leaders, you could search for Kamala Harris foreign policy photos. Kamala Harris meeting with specific world leader. Kamala Harris international diplomacy photos. Kamala Harris' journey is an inspiration, showing that with dedication, hard work, and a belief in oneself, anything is possible. Her story is a testament to her commitment to justice and equality, and her impact on the world continues to grow.